Today's topic is about the homelessness of men and why opening more men's shelters will bring more stability to American families. By the end of my speech, the audience will believe that by opening an abundance of male shelters throughout America, it will bring more stability and support to their lives, to the lives of their families, and future generations to come. By bringing an end to the continuing rise of homelessness of men, men's shelters will stabilize, support, and encourage the survival of independent males and push them to succeed in life plus the future so that they can again become the foundation of their family structure and dynamic. Matlock T. 2012. Why are men more likely to be homeless? States, most studies show that single homeless adults are more likely to be male than female. In 2007, a survey by the U.S. Conference of Mayors found that of the population surveyed, 35% of the homeless population who are members of households with children are male, while 65% of these people are females. However, 67.5% of the single homeless population is male, and it is this single population that makes up 76% of the homeless population surveyed. I know many males, some related, who are single with and without children. They all have jobs but are homeless, living with relatives, friends, in rooming houses, and with female counterparts because they cannot afford the cost of living in Boston, Mass. The audience should be fully aware of the rising epidemic of homeless men in America because men play important roles in every family, and they aren't afforded the same simple rights and assistance from the government as women are. I will focus on three main points of male homelessness: society and lack of government, employment and lack thereof, and the cost of living and building support through shelters. We all know the world can be a tough place for anyone to live in and survive in, and it's more evident than ever for males in today's society. In society, the male is supposed to be the dominant species, the breadwinner, and head of the family. However, for the men who have fallen on hard times like homelessness, their pride will not allow them to ask for help or handouts. But when they do, there's a shortage of resources available to them. Healing Hands 2001 states, Americans are more likely to explain poverty as a result of individual rather than situational factors. In other words, they tend to blame society for homelessness, but individuals for poverty, which is intrinsic to homelessness. Government assistance for men is nearly non-existent. The shelters that are available for substance abuse and drug abuse. Welfare is harder to get for men who have no proof of residence, and affordable housing requires an income of no less than 30%. Spetter CV No Date states, the aggregate housing ratio provides evidence that homelessness is not caused by individual characteristics. Rather, it is attributable to a lack of affordable housing. There are fewer services available through the government to help homeless men become stable in society, even while employed. With or without a high school diploma or a college degree, employment is hard to obtain and keep when men are homeless. The wages paid by employer to employee after taxes are taken out is only enough to last them to the next paycheck. Healing Hands 2001 also states, among homeless men, 41% receive income from employment, compared to 27% homeless women, although only half expect their job to last at least 3 months. There's a higher rate of men employed who are homeless and can't afford the cost of living. The cost of living in Boston, for example, is way higher than other cities in America. Homeless men here can't afford the cost of living, so they will live with family, friends, women counterparts, or live on the streets to avoid staying in the two homeless shelters available, which house mainly men with drugs or substance abuse problems. Jump Shell No Date states, out of 92 cities ranked by Forbes, The Boston-Quincy metro area was named the third most overpriced, with utilities 23% above the national average, medical expenses 22% higher, groceries 15% more expenses, and everything else 28% higher. There needs to be nonprofit shelters for men that have resources available to give them priority with housing, educational services, career building services, and life skills to help them succeed in life after they leave the shelter into permanent housing. Men need just as much help from the government as women do, as well as their local communities. Even more so, they aren't afforded the same equal rights while homeless and are more subject to higher health problems, substance abuse problems, and mental health problems due to the scarce lack of support. Family shelters aren't available to men with children as they are to women with children, or housing assistance unless they can show legal proof through the courts that they have full custody of their children. Without more men's shelters, they will continue to lack the support they need in housing, employment, and other resources. We must put our men in America as top priority in solving this increasing homeless dilemma so that they can again become the structure, strength, and epitome of the American family. Without stabilizing our men, young and old, we will lose the foundation of the family dynamic for futures to come. And people will feel like our men aren't needed, not reliable, and not strong enough to coincide in our society. Thank you.